Who is viewing you as hot shit and why? Pick a card. Here are your piles. We'll see you in your reading. Hi, Pile One. Welcome to your reading. Let's find out who is viewing you as the hot-ish and why. You have this person, could be an ex, could be a ex-friend, an ex or a family member you no longer are in contact with. They're the type of people that like to season their character and make it seem like it's desirable. It's something that you want to be connected to. It's palatable. They may present themselves as kind and loving, good-hearted, mutual respect. That's how they season their mask. But behind that mask, they're quite the opposite. They're someone you cannot trust. They will backstab you. They will talk trash behind your back. They will do things to tear you down. They will manipulate and scheme and plot. So this is this kind of person, the one that seasons their personality. Okay, so these people, they believe that you're the hot-ish because while they're trying to do this injustice towards you, you turn around and say, oh, absolutely not. Y'all gonna get cut out. I'm gonna give you the silent treatment and I will not tolerate any injustice you bring my way. And I will put myself first and make sure I nurture me first. I will not tolerate any type of conflict, problems you try to bring my way. They also see you as the ish because here you are hopeful and inspired. You're willing to reject them. You're willing to say, no, I'm not interested in going to party with you guys because I recognize you guys are fake bitches, snitches, and you just want to bring injustice into my life, so I'm imbalanced and unhappy. That's why you're the hot-ish. You have this civil servant, someone who works for the government, could be anything, could be a police officer, potentially you dated this person, could be just a government employee, they just work in the government somewhere, you know, friend, ex, that's what I'm getting on here, friend or ex. They believe that you're the hot-ish because they're broken, and I guarantee you probably cut them off because they wasn't doing right by you, because why would they be broken, right? While they're broken and upset, you're peace and balanced. You over here going to yoga classes and doing your meditation and going for your runs with your headphones on, just concentrating on your health and going to the gym and lifting weights, reading books, relaxing. And here they are suffering in silence due to you probably cutting them off. I guarantee you had to cut them off because of what the foolishness they was bringing to your life. They feel like, you know, they're suffering in silence and they don't feel right because, they're okay. See, you burned bridges with them and they feel you're disloyal to them because how dare you, put yourself first and try to bring justice into your life. Secretly, they know you still the ish because you did this cutoff. And they're upset because you had some type of epiphany in your mind that, oh, damn, I got to cut ties so I can be free. I don't have to deal with these type of people that are trying to do all this shady stuff to me. I can leave them behind if I want because I don't deserve this. I can have my freedom. So that's why they see that you're the ish, because you said absolutely not. You will not. I will not be tolerating any of that ish that you're bringing my way. You have this revolutionist, and a person is a friend, could be an ex, could be a family member. They may portray themselves as someone who's a pursuer of justice. But if they were a pursuer of justice, then they'd still be in your life, right? So this is just all a front. They're not really a pursuer of justice, because otherwise you would still be connected to them. So they see you as the ish because, while they were greedy and inconsiderate, you said, oh, you getting blocked immediately. You said, oh no, stop calling. You could keep calling for Thanksgiving. You could keep calling for Christmas. I'm not even answering. You send me a message and want to act like nothing happened. Very narcissistic. They're the type of people, these so-called revolutionists, so to speak, family members, friends, exes, they pursue, say, well, I'm fair. Whole time they're not, none of that. And then then they let some time pass, but they never said sorry to you. And then they want to send you a message, a text message, and then you have to turn around and block them or just leave the chat. It's like that type of situation. And they see that you are the ish because here you are showing mutual respect for them. And then what are they doing? Being abusive, trying to be abusive towards you. Do plots and schemes. How do I bring down Pile 1's self-esteem? What can I do to hurt her or hurt him? I want to do things to hurt them. Because you ain't nothing but a narcissist. You want to look for opportunities to just say, ooh, I could use Pile 1 for whatever energy, their high vibrational energy that they have. I can use them for their resources, their benefit, anything that benefits me. Also, since we're so egotistical and we want to show that we're better than Pile 1, we just want Pile 1 to be our punching bag. But here you are as this spiritual leader, and you have this insight. You know they're two-faced. You know that they're backstabbers. You know whenever they just cause chaos and disaster, you know you got to stay away from that. You have the insight, and that's what makes you the ish to them, deep down inside. You have this fool getting, exes, could also be coworkers. They're people who make rash decisions. They make jumps without thinking. Also could be family members. They just simply make decisions without thinking first. Now, these people believe you're the ish because while they're burned out and burdened, carrying all these heavy loads on their plate and feeling empty, you're over here saying, ooh, I'm out. I'm not going to be nowhere near what y'all got going on. Because whatever you got going on, I don't want to have no parts. No parts. I don't need to carry the burdens you carry. That could be within, let's say, traditions. Family has traditions. They require you to go to dinner every Sunday. But every time you go to dinner, why are you always putting me down and nitpicking me and saying my life is a piece of trash? Why are you always trying to make me feel sad and nitpicking and saying I don't know how to pick the right partners? Why are you saying, oh, you ain't nothing because you're still single? Why are you trying to make me feel bad and have low self-esteem? This is this type of stuff that family members do at dinner times when they want you to meet up with them. So you're like, oh no, I'm not going to be in none of that anymore. It's like almost like when you meet up with your family, you're like at war with them, right? But they do it on a passive aggressive basis. Where they'll say stuff like, oh, well, your brother, he's always been responsible, as if you're not responsible. They're those types. They gaslight. They do those types of methods so that they can make you feel some type of way. But the point of it is they create lots of pain, right? And they have this confusion in their mind. They're conflicted and perplexed because you're the ish because your ass is an authority figure. That's not something that a narcissist, someone who's abusive, they don't want to have to accept that, but your behavior indicates that you operate in your own authority and you don't put up with a lot of BS that they bring your way. And that shows that you have the discipline and the authority to be the one that runs the show when it comes to your life. They know you're the ish for that, but they don't want to admit that. You know, they tell a lot of stories about you. They like to, make up stories and say, oh, well, Pile One Collective is none of those things. You know, they are disrespectful. You know, they're selfish. Whole time they are all of those things because they're the ones with the mask. They're the ones that are deceptive. They're the ones that like to cause a lot of pain. They like to present themselves as if they're on your team. Whole time they're a full-blown enemy. And then what else they see that makes you the ish is despite their deception, here you are healing yourself. Here you are reflecting and saying, oh, well, all of this stuff is hurting me. So I have to get rid of the people that are just continuously, repeatedly stabbing me in the back and then smiling in my face like everything's okay. And have the nerve to just still smile and give me invites, but not even say sorry for what they did. But here you are saying, well, I need to heal, but the healing requires removal, right? Because you will keep having that wound reopened as you continue to connect with these people. But that's what makes you the ish. Spirit, are there any other descriptions you'd like to give me on these people that see Pile One as the ish? I'm getting there's a Gemini that believes you're the ish, is probably someone that you no longer, it has to be someone you no longer deal with. Someone who is Asian, a Pisces, Taurus, someone who has piercings, a neighbor. Oh, wow. You got some problems with a neighbor too. Ooh. And them neighbors, they believe you're the ish and they be mad about it. They be hella mad when they're watching you. And they're the kind of neighbors that will do passive aggressive things on you because they're mad. Like they might, I don't know, have their dog poop on your lawn. They'll do stuff like that. There's someone who's Middle Eastern that believes you're the ish, but you probably no longer have contact with. Karmic feminine, friends, co-workers, family members that are karmics. Someone that has tattoos. Someone who has a life path as a creator. Grandpa, oh my goodness, I had this in the last reading. Watch out for Grandpa. Grandpa truly believes you are doing really well, but in your face, he'll probably say that you need to work on stuff. That kind of grandpa gaslights you, says, okay, well, I see that you feel that what do you mean you feel? You are doing well, They'll turn around and say, well, what about this and what about that? Well, what about it? I'm doing good, Grandpa, so stop talking. Anyways, those are the messages I have for you, Pile One Collective. I hope you enjoyed your reading. Hi, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading. Let's find out who is viewing you as the hot ish and why. You have this risk taker. This person that may be caught up in addictions. These people, they get into debt easily. Stuff like that. Friends, could be friends, an ex, family members, people that, that have these characteristics. They believe you're the ish because you got boundaries. When you deal with a lot of foolishness and effery, you're like, enough is enough. I'm going to set my boundaries and I'm not dealing with it. I'm putting my stick in the sand and saying, no, I will not tolerate what you were doing to me. They know that they're abusive. They're conniving. They're plotting and scheming on you. They want to do things to hurt you. They'll use all of these psychological games to cause you pain and suffering. They're aware of this. They know that. And it's because their head is in the clouds. They want to be delusional and say, well, we want to keep abusing Pile 2 Collective. We want to keep, because we're not happy. We took a lot of reckless risks in our life. And our life is in shambles, and we see Pile 2, we want to make them feel like their life is in shambles as well. So their head is in the clouds because they're like, well, why won't pile two let us like treat them like trash? They should just stay there and let us do it to them. That's why they're in delusion. And here you are saying, oh no, I'm the ish. Well, they know you're the ish too, because here you're saying, oh no, I'm too busy. I'm not putting up with none of those little plots and schemes that you're doing towards me. And here in the end, they're missing you. You're not missing them, they're missing you. That's why you're the ish to them. You have this father figure, this guardian, a dad, could be an uncle, could be just someone you look up to who's older, could be a grandpa in your life or was in your life. They believe that you're the ish because, you know, while they feel trapped in their life, maybe the decisions they've made, maybe they were people, a lot of times fathers, grandpas, you know, it's generational. The grandpa does one thing a certain way, the father follows right after. When they have kids, they keep doing the same cycle over and over. They like to stay in denial all the time and they keep themselves trapped. They wanted to pass that on to you. You need to be trapped just like we're trapped. But here you are saying, oh, absolutely not. Nope, I don't stay trapped in relationships. I don't stay in toxic. This is what pile 2 is saying. I don't stay trapped in nothing toxic, nothing unhealthy, because I'm going to be healthy for me. And I'm only going to find people who are healthy for me. I'm going to find my soulmate, good people that I can be around. I'm not going to stay in these generational curses of feeling trapped, you know, and feeling like, well, I don't have no option, so I had to just stick with what I had and just be miserable. No, you're like, oh no, I have my boundaries. I'm not doing none of that. And that's what deep down they feel like, wow, pile 2 is the ish, because they're like, I'm going to break the curse and just work on myself and attract better partnerships so I can have a healthier life. They also feel you're the ish because you're like, I don't care if I'm antisocial. I don't care if I'm by myself. I mean, I might not come for the Thanksgiving or for Christmas. And I don't care because I don't have to deal with none of your foolishness. I don't have to deal with your psychological abuse where you're telling me that I'm less than because I'm single. Or you're telling me because I have a partner and I'm having a little bit of problems, you use it against me and say, I don't know how to pick my partners. Just different things like that so that you can just start wailing on me psychologically. So you're like, oh no, I'm gonna have my peace and watch my shows, watch my little Netflix, drink my wine and be relaxed, and that's it. Or I might be with real friends and get together and watch movies, but I'm not gonna be having all that. I'm not gonna be no punching bag for nobody. Absolutely not. And that's why they see you're the ish. They also see you're the ish because you have the nerve to be fair and just. You want balance in your life. You want to make sure what you give out, you get back. So if you're a good person, you should also have good people around you. So they know that you operate in a way that is fair. So they feel that you're the ish because of that. And then they feel you're the ish because you're like, absolutely not. I'm going to cut ties. Nope. You are not acceptable in my life if you do not know how to treat me. And that's why they see you're the ish. But they're not going to tell you that, though. They're not going to tell you. You have this person that likes to look you up, try to get some information on you, probably going on Facebook or Instagram or Googling you, you know, trying to get information on you. That type of person could be a friend, could be an ex, could be also family member again, that's looking you up, probably because you have no contact with them. Now they believe you're the ish because, you know, while they create all this chaos and conflict, and are stressed out due to these conflicts and struggles, these power struggles, these psychological games that they play with each other. Here you are saying, I'm going to just focus on myself and I will be nurturing me, and I'm going to use my wisdom and make sure that I'm not going to be surrounding myself among all of that upheaval and chaos that y'all trying to create in my life because your life is like that. Then they're saying that you're the ish because, while they're arrogant, they don't even give you apologies for when they do you dirty. They didn't even give you no closure. No closure. You said, that's okay. You didn't give me no closure. I'm still going to be gentle to myself. I'm going to still mother myself. Now I'm getting on this family vibes. A mom who's never mothered their child. Trigger warning. You've never mothered your child, never, and nor have you ever apologized for your behavior throughout the years that you have raised your child, and you have neglected them, and you have done them dirty, and you have psychologically abused them. You were saying, pile 2, oh no, I will break that cycle. I will be nurturing to myself. I will be mothering myself despite what I did not receive from my own damn mother. And that's why you the ish. And here you are, pile 2, smelling the roses and said, oh no, I'm going to focus on my healing. I'm going to focus on my nurturing. I'm going to focus on my own love for self. You have this ruthless, cruel person, exes, family members, friends, co-workers, that this is the kind of traits they got, right? These are some of the traits. They're ruthless. They feel you're the ish because you over here, what? You said you went to Vegas this weekend? You out partying, pile 2? Like, for real? With some friends? Okay. They're puzzled. They're very puzzled. Like, how are you out in Vegas having fun, right? After some type of separation from us cruel people, right? And they're thinking, well, maybe we can have a second chance with pile 2. We can have a second chance because we remember the nostalgia that pile 2 was just amazing. They were just such good vibes to us. Maybe we could, have a second chance. But they're like, we're bitter and we're angry because as we're in this bitter angerness, these cruel people that are bitter and angry, and they're burned out, they're exhausted because you were grade A supply to these cruel people. You were grade A, right? And they self-inflicted. But here you are. This is why they see you as the ish, because you turned around and escaped. You got away from them. And you have protection on your life. And then you have the nerve to be, what? You went to go have fun somewhere while we're bitter and angry and burned out? Oh, okay. So, Spirit, what can you tell me any more descriptions about the people that believe that pile 2 is the ish? Someone with hazel eyes is mad looking at you because they know you're the ish. A Cancer, very emotional right now. They're like, I can't believe that you want to nurture yourself, and I know we know you're the bomb for that, but still we feel some type of way. Someone with tattoos staring at you from afar. Someone that's a Gen X. Stranger, I'm getting on the stranger that, probably someone from afar. Maybe you looked at them and they saw you at the gym. They're like, man, pile 2 is the ish. And they wish they could have a chance with you. someone that could be a potential lover. I got two, a builder. There's a builder that knows that you're the ish, and then I got millennial. Now for builders, okay, that's someone who likes to build and keep stability in their life. They could be seeing you as the ish because they're like, oh man, pile two doesn't put up with no BS, and they're able to self-heal, which makes them the ish. Someone with green eyes, someone that's a Gen Z, a hobosexual that believes you're the ish, but some of them they'll never admit it to you, and a Capricorn. Those are the messages I have for you, Pile 2. I hope that you enjoyed your reading. Hi, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading. Let's find out who is viewing you as the hot-ish and why. You have this person or these people, could be family, friends, maybe exes, and they're being likened to a spy because they're looking you up, trying to figure out what you got going on. Why are you so quiet? They can't find out no information about you because you're moving in silence. So they have to be on this espionage behavior, trying to figure out and look you up and see if they can get some information on you to figure out what's going on with you. So that's these types of people. So these types of people, they feel you're the ish because here you are clearing your mind and recharging. So you're just focusing on, relaxing and just letting go of all the drama and clearing your mind and breathing. And they're over here gossiping, being nosy. That's why they're the spy and espionage, and they're undercover trying to look for information on you, sipping tea, because, they made bad choices. They made bad choices. They played lots of mind games with you. Family members, psychological games to make your self-esteem low. They wanted to convince you were less than and you weren't worth anything. You weren't worthy. You got exes who played mind games and put you in these third-party situations or made you one of the other options so that you wouldn't even be someone who was important enough to date. But here you are, Pile 3 as the ish, because here you had respect when they were doing all these mind games. You didn't even do anything to them, but they played mind games, psychological games to bring down your self-esteem, to humble you so that they would be in the power position. But you turned around and said, you getting ghosted. I don't have to deal with any of this stuff. And that's why they believe you're the ish, because here they are in espionage spy mode, trying to look you up. You have this merchant, this retailer. I'm getting ex vibes on this. Maybe the ex that you previously dated was an entrepreneur. Maybe they were a merchant. Maybe they worked for a restaurant or just some merchant or retailer. And they believe you the ish because you were very nurturing to yourself. You have a lot of wisdom. So when you were dating this person or these people, they could see that you had a lot of insight and you had a lot of depth to you. So that's what made you the ish to them. And here they were in all these bad cycles, continuous cycles of addiction and making bad decisions over and over again. Here they are, they're puzzled, they're conflicted because they're burned out and exhausted. But then at the same time, they see that you're over here balanced and you used wisdom so that you wouldn't feel trapped. You wouldn't be confused. You wouldn't be any of the things that they're experiencing because you use your insight and wisdom to learn your lessons in life and say, okay, if this cycle is not working for me and it's not healthy, I'm just going to stop it. I'm going to get off the roller coaster. Whereas these people like this vendor and the entrepreneur, these exes, they'll keep doing the same thing over and over again and just suffering and never get off the ride. But you, using your wisdom, you got off the ride. So that's why you're the ish to them. You have these clergy, these religious organizations that you were a part of. It could be any organization where it's just, they may appear to be very righteous on the surface, but when you get into the nitty gritty of the organization, they do a lot of sketchy things that you're like, wait, that's against the law. What are you doing? Why are you taking away the rights of the members? Stuff like that, where they control the members, mind control. They use a lot of different psychological abuse tactics when you get into the nitty gritty of a lot of these organizations. So in any event, you got a religious organization that, was doing unhealthy things towards you. I would say like some of the examples could be they required so much of you. You need to meet a certain quota that they set for you and you don't want to, you can't do it. It's way too much that they're requiring. And they're like sucking you dry like a battery until you're at 0%. And then they'll use scriptural means. If you don't give as much anymore, they'll say, well, the Bible says that God says you need to give this and you need to give that. So it's like, it's an unending cycle of you giving to the organization, this religious organization, and you don't even have anything for yourself. So while they drain you, they will use what's called, I know in psychology, it's called spiritual abuse. They'll use scriptures in order to control you. And it's in order to exploit your energy and your time so they can still use you for their benefit. And even if they suck you dry like a battery and you stop going so you can uplift yourself, they'll actually shame you for making that decision to actually take care of yourself first rather than giving to their organization. So that's what kind of abuse can happen within these types of organizations. If you try to leave for any reason, they will find a way to get the whole organization to shun you or make you feel like you are an enemy, or even on the opposite side, you're on the devil's side. These are all ways that tactics and strategies and methods that they can use so that you can't walk away freely. So these types of forms of abuse that they use, or guilt as well, is a big one. Is, you're not doing what God is telling you to do. No matter how much you give, it's never enough, but they're going to still use, you're not doing what God's telling you to do. But it's really them that's telling you what to do, not God. Because God would never want you, a God of justice would never want you sucked dry and abused. Never. So I'm getting on that energy. This is the energy of the clergy, an organization that does stuff like this, or does some of the things like this. And they feel like, you're greedy and inconsiderate. How dare you take time pile 3 to take care of yourself? You're selfish and greedy. And they feel bitter and angry because they just have all this nostalgia about how much of a positive person you were when they were connected to you in the organization or the church. And they're like, they want to reconnect with you, but you went ahead and just said, I'm out. You had the nerve to glow up after you left the religious organization? Deep down, they know that you the ish for this one. You glowed up after you was worn out and they sucked you dry until you were at 0%, and now you are up like that? Oh, they know you the ish, but they're mad though. They're mad. And on top of that, your exit from this organization caused an upheaval. So the members, possibly even family members that were in it, it caused chaos when you walked away. But you said, oh no, after I walk away from this, I'm living my best life. No one gonna suck me dry ever again. You go pile 3. You go pile 3. Then you got these people, friends, family, and could be exes as well, that came to this realization that, you know, you're the ish because you're settled and secure. I mean, you could have a lot of money, or maybe you're comfortable. You may not, not necessarily be rich or anything like that, but maybe you just know what you're doing. You know what the hell you're doing. You buy your car, you make sure you get a used car, already got a few miles on it, but it's a reliable vehicle. You make sure you get something that, is good on gas, and then you pay that thing off in 6 months. Or, you get a Honda or a Toyota, you pay that thing cash, and that thing lasts you 22 years. Or like, you've been in your apartment, and you may not necessarily have a house, you might have an apartment, but you've been in your apartment for a long period of time. So stable in that type of sense, where you can manage being stable, and just paying your bills on time, and having, making sure you have an emergency fund for when things, go haywire. And you're able to just stay settled and secure. This is what these people are realizing about you. And that's why they see, like, wow, Pile 3 is the ish, because they set boundaries and they said, I'm too busy. They know you were too busy for their delusion. Their egotistical games that they wanted to play with you. They wanted to waste your time. They wanted to use you up in some way, shape, or form. And they see that you don't even have any tension. You're basically saying, I'm not going to have no tension. You're not going to put no tension and stress in my life. So I'm going to make sure you're removed, because I need to make sure I am settled and stable and secure. Spirit, can you tell me any other descriptions that you'd like me to share with Pile 3 Collective about who else might be seeing Pile 3 as the ish? You got some Asian people. Okay, who else? I got millennials. Let me see who else. I got tattoos, someone that's a Cancer, a peacemaker, a boomer that believes you're the ish, but probably not going to tell you that. You got a coworker that believes you're the ish, but they're the kind that throw you under the bus and then tell the boss about you, so that, you might get fired because they're so jealous of you, because your performance is so on point, and they're jealous. You got someone with amber eyes looking at you. A Libra who's looking at you. Someone who's African American. A sister who sees you're the ish, but will never say it to your face, and will convince you you're not all that. And a Capricorn. Those are the messages I have for you, Pile 3. I hope you enjoyed your reading.